Hello, in this video I'm going to demonstrate using constructors. Let's create a project first. I'll call it as using constructors and let's create a program. Let us create a class on which we can test our constructors. I'll call it as product and make it part of entity package. The product, we will have some variables like ID and then name and price. We can add a constructor which is a no argument constructor, also called as default constructor, by pressing control space and then pressing enter, which chooses the first option, and then deleting the to do. We will provide a toString to print the values of each one of these, or we can write our own print function for the same. For now, I'm okay with this. Let's go back to our program and create an object of the product. So product P1. Now here is a reference which is trying to create a variable of this product class, but it is of a different package than ours. You can also go to source, organize imports, and ensure that the imports are done automatically, or you can press Ctrl Shift O for the same. Now, in order to use this P1, which is a reference, we need to create an object. And this is where the use of constructors come very handy. Now note that constructors do not create objects, but constructors are function-like bodies which get invoked when an object is created. So the actual object is created with the keyword new and new product. Note that we are using a pair of round brackets, and these are the parentheses which are representing the type of constructor you want to invoke. Since we did not supply any values here, this is the constructor that's going to be used. If I supply some values such as 1, chai, 18.9, now you can see that our Eclipse is giving an error because it is looking for a constructor that takes these parameters, and we don't have such. Let us try printing the values. We'll say P1 in system.out.println. Now this println function invoked from out, and out is a variable of print stream that is actually going to go and access the toString from P1, and P1.toString we have overridden to print these values. Let us see what is the outcome. You can see that it prints product whose ID is 0, name is null, and price is 0.0. Now instead of that, we can go to this constructor. You can select it and press F3 or control click on that. It will take you to that constructor. And now I can initialize the members with some other values. For example, I can say name equals to unknown, product, price equals to, let us say, default price for any product, minimum probably is around $5. So I can assign some default. Now that we save it, we can execute our program. And when I do that, ID remains that because we never assigned anything to that ID. However, name has been assigned to unknown product and price equals to $5.0. So this way, we will be able to initialize values to members of the class. Now, the only purpose of a constructor is to assign some default values. So if you do not have any of these, you can even remove that. However, doing so is not so good idea because when you don't have a constructor, compiler would have added that constructor. So my code would still work, but without any values. And that is because if you look at the source code or the compiled location, let us go to the bin directory, find out where is it, and see what are the members in that product class. So I'm going to open a new command prompt and go to that folder where my bin directory exists, and I'll type a command called javap co.vinode.entity.product, and I'll also print the private variables also, or private members. And you can see that it shows that there are 3 private member variables, and there is a constructor and a toString. While the member variables and the toString is what we have written, note that the compiler has donated us a product constructor. Now it doesn't do anything, but as soon as I add my own constructor, which does something like, for example, name equals to unknown product and then price equals to 5.0. Now, if I go back here, you will see that we do have exactly same thing. So there is no addition. But how do we know that it was not given by the compiler? Let us add a parameter here. So let us say, for example, I'll type int id, and I'll type here this.id equals to id. But when it is compiled and when we are actually going to check what is the members in this product class, you can see that we do have our constructor, but there is no argument default constructor. So this would now cause a problem, because in our program 01, we are trying to make use of that particular constructor which doesn't exist now. And that's why we always say it is a good practice to add a default constructor even when you don't have anything to do, such as this. Of course, that is not doing anything. It remains default values for the members.